Hi, it's Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. So today I want to talk to you more about moving to New Zealand. It's actually the Saturday 21st of April today, so I wanted to give you an update on what we've been doing, how we're progressing, and also just to talk to you more about visas, as this is one of the main things that we've kind of struggled to get our head round, and we thought we were set. But now everything's totally different, but I think it's better. So let me explain more about that. So what we did at the start of our journey, we actually looked at the different visas and we wanted to get permanent residence, or the option to apply for permanent residence in New Zealand. And we were really working on what our friends had done before. So I've got some notes here. So they actually did the skilled migrant visa, and that means that after 2 years you can apply for residency in New Zealand. It's actually a points-based system, so they go on your qualifications, your age, your health, how long you've been in your work, what is your work, what is your job, and things like that. So we kind of just went ahead and started looking at that one first. So back in probably November time, we did a draft expression of interest, it's called. So you would have to do that first to see how many points you get. And at the moment, the New Zealand people, they're only picking out, it's like 160 points basically. You need 160 points in order to be pulled out of this pool of people. So when we did it, we first did it on Dave's kind of experience and then added me as a partner. And because he's got less than 2 years experience at physio at the moment, that didn't give him loads and loads of points. I think he had about 110 points. And then what we did, we thought, right, let's change it around and let's have a look at mine. So because I've got over 13 years experience in my job, and although it's not on the skilled shortage list, it is still a skilled kind of qualification and job, and therefore I got about 140 points, which was good, but still not enough. And we're thinking, oh, we'll have to do this expression of interest and we'll be stuck in that pool, but we need to get a job. And then when we were looking at this Facebook group, Jen Morris, I will mention it, it's called Moving to New Zealand. It's a great Facebook group, and people were saying, well, don't bother submitting an expression of interest until you get a job, because otherwise you're just wasting money, because you could pay the money, do the medicals, well, you don't have to do the medicals, but you could be waiting for a job offer and you're only allowed in that pool for 6 months and then you're taken out. So if you've not got a job within that time, then there's no point really. There's no point spending that money and just sitting and waiting. So we're thinking, okay, then we'll get a job offer first, and then we'll apply for this skilled migrant visa. But the other thing that was kind of bugging us was that it takes about 3 to 6 months to process it, for the New Zealand authorities to process it, and we'll have to get a medical and a police check, and we don't know how long that takes. And we're thinking, will a employer wait 6 months? And I was thinking, no, they're not going to wait 6 months. And it was only recently, so last week, Dave had a talk with someone and she was like, no, you wouldn't do it that way. I'm like, oh, okay. So we kind of researched it a bit more, and basically what you would do, you would apply for an essential works visa, which is like a temporary visa to get you into the country. And then you could do the skilled migrant visa alongside it. So you could still be applying for that, but you'd be in the country, you'd be working. You can get over there really quickly because the essential, sorry, I'd like to keep looking, the essential skills visa it only takes 20 working days to process it. So within a month, you could have got your visa, booked your flights and be heading over to New Zealand, which is a lot more doable for employers because, you know, they want you over there as soon as possible. The other thing is you do need obviously your offer of employment from a New Zealand employer, and the visa, it differs, I think, because you can get a 1-year visa, 3-year or 5-year, and I think that's dependent on the skill level of your job. So that will probably be a thing I'll have to research a bit further. But yeah, I think it's dependent on your job and what your skill level is. You still have to do like character references and do your health, your medical as well, I believe. But it's also good because it does allow you a variation of the conditions. So I believe that if you work, say if you get a job with one employer, it doesn't mean that you have to stick with that employer. I believe you can get another job, you know, if you went to New Zealand and you absolutely hated the job, you'd still be allowed to apply for other jobs over there on that work visa. So I think that's what we're going to do, because that's the most sensible and practical thing to do. We would apply for a job and get a job, and then as soon as we get a job we would get this essential skilled visa, and that would take, as I said, 20 days to process it, and we could get over there as soon as possible. I don't think we could both go over there on that. It might be that, say if I got the job, then I'd go over there and the skilled migrant visa would be happening in the background. That's something that I'm still a little bit unsure of and have to do a bit more research into. And then there is another visa that we've come across, which is the work to resident visa for an accredited employer. And there's a list of accredited employers on the New Zealand immigration website, and I believe that if you get a job with them, you can get this visa, and I think it's easy to process that as well. It doesn't take as long, and after 2 years working with them, then you can apply for residence. So, you know, there are some other options that are available to us that we didn't think of, and it is a bit of a minefield, and I can understand why people go to you know, agencies that help you get over there. But you know, both our friends did it without any help whatsoever, and I think that just, you know, there's a lot of information out there. Yes, we can get confusing, but I think the more and more we talk to people, the more information we can get. We're a bit clearer, and yeah, I think that's the way it's going to go. So what we're going to do at the moment, I'm going to start applying for more jobs. At the moment, I've sent some things to recruitment agencies, and so Hayes is one of them, and I've put it on Seek, and I've contacted some people at Hayes as well because that's more my recruitment agency type. And yeah, Dave's is a bit more lengthy process because he is a physio. He would have to do a registration process, and that seems to be a lot of work, so I'm glad I don't have to do it. But yeah, that may be a little bit of a sticking point in that when we get over there I might be working but Dave might not. So, you know, finances are another thing that we'll need to work on before we get there, but I'll probably talk about that in another video as we go along. You know, as we get a bit more certain about things, I'll talk about that as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as I said, it's just a little bit of an update and a bit of information on our type of visas, but as you can tell, I'm not an expert in these, and I would recommend you looking on the immigration website and also Jen Morris's Facebook group. if it's still around. I'm sure it will be. But yeah, there's a lot of information out there to kind of get the answers, really. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and keep following me with my journey, or with our journey. There's going to be a lot more videos, I'm sure, to come. As I said, it's only April, and our goal is to get over there September time. If we can do it in August or November, then that's the way it is, but we definitely would like to be over there before the end of this year. So fingers crossed, and a lot of planning and a lot of proactive work. So I'll speak to you next time. Bye.